So this is the southern tier, start of day 2. You can see day 1 started in San Diego, where I'm circling on the map, and day 2 starts in Alpine up here. The route is actually through the mountains here, going down over the pass. And so I will zoom into Alpine. And this is where I'm starting from. We're in the shopping center here. And hopefully this will work out okay. And I'll see if I can get this about the same location. So this is actually of the first 7 days of the Southern Tour route, this was my favorite day. And I have to pay attention here because I'm trying to show you where we're going and give you a nice overview of the route. So you can see I'm paralleling the freeway. And it's interesting that I did the most climbing this day, but I also enjoyed it the most. The roads were not all that good, but so shortly on this ride we'll be going on the freeway. The first part of the ride goes up to Pine Valley from Alpine, and there's a downhill into Pine Valley. You go up to 4,000 feet eventually. So we should be getting on the freeway right up here and taking a short ride on the freeway. So I'm just slowing this down to let the other thing catch up. And then I'm actually letting my wife know I'm jumping onto the freeway so she'll know where I'm at. And the freeway was the easiest part of this ride. The good thing about the freeways are that you get a little windbreak from the vehicles. And a wide shoulder. Plus the grade isn't over 6%. Now, this little dip in this map on the right is really a bridge, so I don't understand why it does what it does. But you don't go down like that, obviously. And then as we get up here a little further, we're then going to be getting off the freeway, which kind of irritated me. And I say that because it was an easy ride to Pine Valley on the freeway, and much more difficult and slow ride I'll bet it was safe without any problems, but okay, so now we're turning on the road. That will eventually take us to Pine Valley, and you can see the terrain that we're now going through. Well, the camera on the left, the picture on the left is being taken at 10 times the normal speed. That way I can actually show you everything that's going on. And you can get the picture of the entire road. The shoulder here is actually very good, but there are parts of this road where the shoulder is terrible. Now, my wife, who's following me, didn't know I took this turn off, and she's actually looking for me at this time. And I believe I may be out of phone range. And so where we're going is to Pine Valley in the top right. And I'm going to stop and have an early lunch there. So that's my first break of the day. This road wasn't actually all that bad. It was just so much longer. I hate going way out of the way just to get to a place. Scenery was pretty. Wonder if these are close to being together. Well, they're close. So this is where I took a break, and the actual film on the left is from a ride I took a month before because it was easier to make a continuous film of it. And the reason it stopped is I'm going to wait. That's where we ate lunch at this restaurant. I'm just waiting for the film to catch up and start again. Now, you'll notice the elevation on the right. Interesting. It appears to be moving, but maybe it's because it's stayed in the same spot and it's just checking. A little frustrating, I apologize. Here we go. So I'm going to have to, so the difference in what's going on here is once you get off the freeway, like this was an 8% grade rather than a 5 to 6% grade max on the freeway. So all the riding off the freeway had much steeper hill climbs. And now I think we're caught up. Going down through. Now, there was actually a checkpoint for illegal aliens right there, but they were going the other way. And I'm just going a nice little downhill through the valley. And the next real stop will be at Jacumba Springs, which is where Vicky rode for about 6 miles to the freeway, but you're not going to see that. And this is where I took a brief break to check to see if I could jump on the freeway the last time. Yeah, that'll give you a little better view of where we're at. Again, we're bordering the freeway. And I'll be going up the hill here shortly. And you can see the shoulder of the road is actually quite bad. Now on my bike I have a rear view radar, so I can actually get a glimpse of what's coming up behind me. So when the road gets really bad, I do try to ride either on the white line or, in this particular case, where the road isn't so rough. And again, a nice gentle uphill. So before Pine Valley was the highest point of this trip at 4,000 feet. I don't know if I get to that high here or not. And the motorhome that just passed on the film on the left was actually Vicky. Oops. And this is a brief stop to refuel, and I'm actually talking with Vicky. Okay, we'll see how long I stay here. And this is going into an uphill here. Now when I get to the top of this hill, and make a right turn, this is the worst of the climbing is now over, even though there's another gentle climb coming up. I'm just letting the two maps catch up to each other. And again, they're different speeds because they're actually, the settings for the map on the right are different because they were written on 2 different days. But they give you the general idea. Whoops. And then when I get to the top of the hill here, Vicky actually stops to take a picture of the elevation, which was about 3,800 feet. Whoops. Which is right there. Well, I really lost it for you that time. Huh? trying to do two things at once, and I'm not very capable. But you get an idea of the terrain and what it's like around there. Up here shortly, as we get closer to Jacumba Hot Springs, and this should be basically my last hill that I'm going up at this point. And this is probably the top of the hill. Okay. And as we get up here a little bit, just up here, you're going to be able to see the border wall off on the right. Okay, and the video is showing me just leaving Jacumba Springs, and this is the route. Vicky actually rode this, and this is a gentle uphill all the way now to the freeway, where I'll get on the freeway. It's wasn't a terrible road, it wasn't very busy, but it wasn't a great road either. The first part was bad. Okay, I'm going to I'm not sure what the video is doing. There we go. Now we should be close to being the same. Because I was doing two things at once, I missed telling you where the border wall was, but obviously GPS reception isn't really good because I'm way off the road. And I really didn't ride out there. I was riding on the road over here. Okay, hold on. So I'm just going to let it catch up a little bit. Now it's almost correct, wherever it is. I don't believe this. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting ready to get on the freeway here. And this is where now we're going on the freeway. I switched with Vicky because I wanted the downhill ride into Ocotillo. So the day is almost over. And I'm going to, whoops, swap views and go out a little bit. I went way ahead of myself, but it's not important because you can see the landscape in the actual picture, moving picture on the left. Now in California, when you come up to a off-ramp, they make you exit the freeway and then get back on. And that's what I've done there. This was a nice ride going down, but I personally didn't want to go over 35 miles an hour. And the road was fine right through here, the freeway for the most part. So like I said, this was the most enjoyable part of my first 7-day ride on the Southern Tier, even though it was also the hardest. And so shortly we're going to be getting off the freeway right here. And the ride Ocotillo is just a few miles away at this point. And just up the road a little bit, we're going to actually make a left-hand turn into Ocotillo. Whoa, it's not even close. So I'll zoom out and we'll do it that way. And here we go. That is the end of this ride. Thank you for watching. Sorry I rambled on.